Last year at Christmas time, Poundland in the UK brought out strings of the wire-based LED lights, and they were really quite interesting. That's a type I'd never seen before, because the type of the wire type LED lights basically have two wires, and they're lacquered copper wires, and they've obviously been put through a manufacturing process where they've been pressed into a sort of peak, buffed flat at the end, and then pressed onto an LED and soldered onto it, and then dipped in resin. So basically speaking, all along this wire you get a parallel array of LEDs, little surface mount LEDs dipped in resin, and they're very tough. And in this case, what they've done is all the resin in this is clear, but the LEDs inside are mostly blue LEDs with a coloured phosphor over the front. So you've got this sort of yellowy warm white, you've got a purpley colour, you've got a red, the bare blue, the cold white, and then you've got green. Now the green is not a phosphor, it's an actual green LED, and that's maybe a bit of the downfall for these particular lights, because when the battery is starting to run a bit low, the green has a slightly lower forward voltage, so instead of all the LEDs going dim together and just going gradually fading away at the same intensity, you end up with all other colours fading quite quickly as the battery goes down, and the green stays the brightest longest. So you end up virtually at the end that the only LED that lit is the green one. So they addressed that this year with something slightly different. I think it's a cheaper way of manufacturing too. What they've done here is there are only 4 colours, but it all appears to be white LEDs, and they have dipped them in coloured resin. And I'll try and give you a close-up of this. They've got this blue resin, red, yellow and green. And I wondered if they'd dip them in the standard clear resin, because this seems really thick, the coloured resin. I wondered if they dipped it in the standard clear resin and then double dipped it again in the colour, or even painted it on. But when I took a grinder to one of them and destroyed it in the process, I discovered that the coloured resin is all the way through, so perhaps the only reason they've actually got the thicker resin in it is to get the larger amount of colour density to get the bright colours. And it's really not bad at all. It's quite vivid colours. The yellow's really strong. The yellow is the strongest colour, followed probably by the green, then the red, then the blue. And it's quite unusual for the yellow to be so bright. Normally if you have the LED fair lights and they use yellow LEDs, they're one of the dimmest colours. But in this case, because it's the white LED under the yellow coloured resin, it's actually coming out quite bright. It's as I say, it's the brightest colour. So that's quite a neat variant. I kind of like the fact that these ones had more colours, but these ones should all fade down as the battery runs down. They should fade down at an equal brightness. So yeah, another very good, gadget from Poundland, another good set of lights.